Hey, this is Arrabon's Thoughtful Thursday, where we answer questions that will help you to become more of a reconciling community. My name is David Bailey, and the question today is, do you have any tips for any person of color that is worshiping or working in a majority white cultural context? You know, this is a really great question. It kind of reminds me similar to when one time I did some teaching for about a week in Haiti, and everybody spoke Creole and or they spoke French, and the only folks that spoke English were the people that were on that trip with me, and majority of folks that were on that trip with me were introverts. I'm an extreme extrovert, and I longed to hear somebody talk in English with me. I was just waiting and just almost kind of like dying. My body was aching just to have a conversation. I was so exhausted from hearing Creole and French. It wasn't that I didn't have any like strong feelings against Creole or French, but that just wasn't my native language. And that's probably a little bit of what you might be feeling. You might be feeling the fatigue and the exhaustion of just having to always hear foreign concepts and like a foreign language and foreign cultural dynamics, or you just might be tired of translating, like having to like not be able to speak your mother tongue of your culture. And so one of the things that I just think is really important to do is really understand, like, hey, all of this is something that God has called me in to do. What you want to do is do some soul care. Where are some spaces where you can kind of plug up and get a refill? You don't go driving across the country on one tank of gas. You got to have some pit stops along the way to fill up. And I think you have to fill up with your culture. If you're in a place, in a location where you have that hard to do, but try to use technology to your advantage and maybe have some connection with some friends where you don't have to do any translation. One of the things I also would encourage you to do is be careful of becoming that model minority within that space, that spokesperson for all of your particular ethnic group. People unknowingly will oftentimes ask you to do that, but try to avoid engaging in that kind of activity. Now, if there's some things that you should speak in, that you feel called, that you have a grace to speak into, go ahead and do that. But just try to understand, like, what is your role? What is your thing to do? I oftentimes tell people, everybody's not an expert in the issues of race and culture and class. People might just know your experience. And if you don't feel like you're an expert in the areas of race, culture, and class, then don't kind of put yourself in an expertise situation. If it's something that you do know about or you have a particular expertise, then speak about that. But you're not necessarily speaking about that from your whole ethnic group and your culture. One of the key elements to understand as a Christian is that in order to get the crown, you have to be able to bear the cross. And the cross for a majority culture looks a lot different than the cross for minority culture. But if you're a Christian, you can't avoid bearing that cross. But keep in mind, even when Jesus was carrying the cross, he had to rest sometimes. And matter of fact, it even came a point in time where somebody helped carry the cross with him. And so take those opportunities for rest when you need it. Invite some people, to ask some folks to be willing to carry that cross with you. But just to know that on the other side of the cross, yes, there's a death, but there is a resurrection. And that means that kingdom life will eventually bring new life out of what it is that God is calling you to do. Thanks so much for watching the Thoughtful Thursday video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it in the comment section. Please share this video with some friends or family or coworkers that might be interested. And also hit that subscribe button so that you can get your Thoughtful Thursday question for next week.